All right, so this is the install of my new nightlight. Um, well, my second nightlight that I got, but this is for my sister. I'm putting it in her bathroom next to the window. So this way you don't got to turn on the lights at nighttime. When you go into the restroom, you don't got to wake yourself up. And also, so she can plug in a fan or something to the window that's over there. So this way she can get the fumes and exhaust out. So this is just a quick video of a quick install that I'm doing of this nightlight outlet. Here it is right here. That's what it looks like. So I bought this from Lowe's. It was on sale, so I was able to get this. Obviously you want to install it this way with the ground down. That's the plan. So it tells you, you know, which side is hot, which side is neutral, right here. As you can tell, the copper side really, the darker side is the L1, which would go into. One is the load. One is the supply, and then the same thing for the neutral. One is the load, one is the supply. So you have to install it accordingly, depending on what it says on the back of your outlet or receptacle. So we're gonna install this real quick. We'll give you a little view. We gotta put I'm using a 2x4 plastic box is what I'm using to install into my wall. As you can see, I got this. So I'm gonna run it, the Romex into here and then run it out. And we're gonna tighten this in the wall real quick, and you can see that. Always make sure you're dealing with no power. I have my little meter here to test. And we got no power. So always make sure you have no power when you're working on stuff like this for safety precautions. You don't want to be dealing with that with electricity on. All right, so let's strip back some of the covering of it. Okay, like that. It's set, okay. Let's run this wire. We gotta run the wire in here, obviously. I broke this out a little bit more than I needed to. Usually you're supposed to have it tighter. As you can see, when you break this out, it's supposed to be a little tight on the Romex. I broke this out and it wasn't, now it's not gonna be as tight as I want, so I did a mistake. So make sure that when you press this in, you are not gonna break it like I did, so it'll grab onto the Romex and actually do its purpose. So here we're gonna run the wire and we're gonna run the Romex in here. Okay. All right, then we can put this in the wall and we can start tightening this up. All right, there you go, it's gonna look like that. There's my wire coming into the wall like that. We're gonna wire that up. Let's get a, here's my 10-in-1. My favorite screwdriver right here is my 10-in-1. It has everything you need. Actually, they make a 12-in-1 that's even better than this, but this one works just enough for what I need. The 12-in-1 has a 3/8 size nut driver, which is awesome to use when you're doing a job. So this is the screwdriver that I love to use all the time, just to show you. So let's put this in the wall. We're gonna tighten these up. Well, that was quick. Wow, that was quick, tightening there. Okay, we are in there. Just want to make sure it's nice and tight. Okay, that ain't not coming out now. Okay, so there's my box. I tightened it up real quick. Make sure you make it the correct size. I just like to make sure it's extra tight, that's all. As you see in my videos, I overdo everything because I freak out. I'm a Virgo. All right, so, oh, see, look at this. Came out a little loose. Let's tighten this up again. You son of a bitch. All right, now we got it nice and tight. There we go. Takes a little time, a little bit, but I got it nice and tight. That's all you gotta do. Obviously mine got stuck a little bit, which yours might too, so you'll have the same experience I do. Real life experience. Not so easy, okay? Perfect, now it's nice and tight in there. All right, let's get this outlet installed. So remember what I said, you got a hot side, and you got a neutral side. So I want to make sure that you wire it correctly. All right. So let's run this. Let's run this neutral in here. Got our ground, our neutral, our hot. Okay, that in there. Let's put the hot inside so the black goes to the hot side, obviously. I mean, you know, not obviously, but you know, you would, that's how you do wire it. Let's tighten this up. Okay, nice and tight. Perfect. Let's run the ground now. I like to wrap the ground. I don't see me being able to wrap it, but let's try it. Let's try to wrap it real quick. Okay, make a little hook on it. Okay. All right, got our little hook there. And we could squeeze this up a little bit. Now the only reason I'm squeezing it around is because it's not as easy to, the ground obviously doesn't have a slot like the, doesn't have a slot like the hot and the neutral. So you have to wrap it around a little bit. All right, so let's tighten this up. Tight, perfect. Now I like to wrap all my receptacles and switches with electrical tape. The reason why I like to do this is because if you ever have a problem later on, people are wiggling the plug out, this becomes loose. You don't have to worry, I guess, because this is plastic, so it shouldn't ground, but I like to still put it on just in case later on you're going to have to work on it, pull it out. Even 10 years from now, when I pull this out, it's going to be wrapped, so this way, just in case, it won't arc or I won't be able to touch it as easy. So it's very, you know, smart to just put that extra tape around just for future reference to help you out later on. So I usually like to wrap mine in tape. Keep it from arcing and from me touching it. If I ever have to come in here again, it's not a big deal. So there we go. We're going to wrap that up with some tape. Perfect. That's it. Just like that. Perfect. All right. So we're going to shove this up in here a little bit because we don't have that much room inside the box. So we can't be, you know, jamming that much wire in there. So you're going to have to push a little bit up in here in the wall, get some in there. Usually I'll trim this off. Well, I'm going to trim it off right now just so it's not extra stuff inside this box for no reason. So we'll do that. Okay, here we go. And we're going to shove this in here. All right, you don't want the, you only want the Romex going out. You know what I mean? You don't want the exposed wire going out. So your exposed wire should not be going out inside the wall. Your exposed wire should only be inside the box. That's just a safety hazard. You should always make sure that any of this exposed wire is only inside the box. Don't put it inside the wall. Only the Romex should go inside the wall. So put it like that. Shove it up in there a little bit. Now we can put this like this. Okay. This wire, so it should bend easily. Go right in there. There we go. Tighten this up. Okay, pull this out a little bit. Okay. Put this right in there, just like that. Get the screwdriver. Damn it, I put that shit on. That sucks. Alright, let's screw this in. Make sure that you push it in while you're screwing it in, especially with using plastic. You want to push it in while screwing it in. I noticed that these strip a lot easier than the metal. So you don't want so much pressure on your screw in the beginning. Okay, so you don't want so much pressure on your screw. So you're better off, you know, pushing on it a little bit and then screwing it in. Don't let your screw do all the work in the beginning. Otherwise it'll strip out. Okay, go like that. like this. Okay, that's pretty simple. Screw it in just like that. Obviously, it's easier with a drill. If you're using a drill, it'll take a quarter of the time that what I'm doing right here. But I like to think about everything when I do it in steps. So when I'm using the screwdriver, I'm thinking about other stuff ahead of time. So that's why I use a screwdriver. It just makes me think ahead of time. All right, make sure it's nice and tight, okay? Now it's in here. Let's just put the top in. I forgot to buy a white cover plate, so I don't have a cover plate at this time, but you're gonna wanna get a cover plate for this size outlet. Make sure it's on properly. All right, so I dropped a piece that goes on the inside. So this is the piece that goes on the inside. You're gonna slide this in, this little glass right here. I dropped that by accident. So this is pretty much it. That's what it's gonna look like after you're done with it, except you're gonna have a cover on it, unlike I do. So that's pretty much it. Let's turn the power on and see what it looks like and get it to work. I'm gonna turn off the light, the work light that I have. I have a work light right here. So I'm gonna turn that off so you can see what it looks like. So I'm gonna turn that off real quick. That's what it's like off. Let's turn on the power. Oh, stupid me, but it's okay, I'll figure it out. That's what the nightlight looks like. Well, now it's off because the light is on in here. Here's the nightlight outlet that I installed, and let's see, does it go on when it's covered? There it is. That's what it looks like when it's on, when it's covered. All right, so that's the install of the light, and just to see what it will look like and how to install your nightlight. All right, thank you for watching, everybody.